By pressing play, you've been transported to a dimension where there will be no apologies given for the abstract and asinine comments made here by the host and their guests. With that being said, thank you for listening and enjoy your experience.
We wax on.
We wax off.
Are you ready?
For episode 43 of the most ridiculously random pop culture podcast in the 719.
Yo, where the captions at?
Yo, where the captions at? I said, yo, where the captions at? Yeah, because only the strong know where the captions at. And
Butterfly!
Where the captions at? Hey! Yes, guys, welcome back to another episode of this show, this podcast, this movement. As always, I'm your host, Kels for Show, aka Mr. Chiyagi. Join with me always is my bro host.
The one and only Roscoe Tenkoya, aka Roscoe LaRusso.
Woo! And join us always, the man behind the scene, the practitioner of the technique of technology, the one, the only, Daniel Rojas, aka Chopper. Yeah, baby. I does not forget.
I told you that was gonna be a thing.
Don't call me Chop.
Can I call you El Chapaloso?
El Chapaloso?
No.
El Chappy Chop?
You can call me El Chapo.
No.
That's racist. Anywho, joining us today, always a friend, always family, and a guest whenever you would like to be. The one, the only. I'm letting him introduce himself.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's Joe.
And
2 weeks in a row.
Yes.
I love it.
Word. And I would love it if the fans would let us know they love it by replying to these, by commenting under these episodes when they come up on YouTube or Facebook. Like, engagement is the key to success. And yeah, tell us what you think. If you ever want to hear us geek out about something, if you're familiar with the setup and the structure of the show, I'm not saying we will, but we can get to it eventually because we like to go off the seat of our pants. We like to just to spring up with topics sometimes because we like to have a structure. We like to be prepared, but sometimes that does not happen. So if we always have a backup, then we never fall on our faces.
True that.
So with that being said, how was you guys' weekends? Real quick, if you want to just...
Really good.
Good?
D&D was a lot of fun.
Oh, man, it was a good session.
SSDD.
Crazy things happening.
What does SSDD stand for?
I was going to ask, but then I was like, I don't want to know. But since Daniel asked...
Same shit, different day.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nigga, I learned that from fucking...
Nigga, that's how long I haven't heard that shit. I was like, oh, what's old is new again.
It always comes back around,
Shit,
baby.
what was that bullshit movie again with the... Dreamcatcher.
Dreamcatcher, right. With Duddits. Stephen King will put a mentally challenged individual in the book. I wasn't going to say a certain word.
That's when I first heard SSDD.
But I'm saying, if you got an R card, shit, that's yours, baby. Play it where you can.
Man, that was the one with the
Morgan Freeman was in that shit too.
with the alien red moss stuff.
Yeah, that's when they found out that it was technically an alien abduction shit between kids that happened when they were adults.
Exactly. And then the friend that was mentally challenged was actually the alien savior the whole time.
Yeah.
And Morgan Freeman was working for the government. Instead of being a magical Negro, he was the evil Negro that America is so afraid of. Oh my God. Black people might do bad stuff.
That's stupid.
Hey, they teach me what they teach me.
That is true.
Anywho, yo, what's popping?
Well, besides what happened on Tuesday,
we're going to get onto that here.
Did y'all hear about what happened on Wednesday in Philly?
No, we're not because we're
not Pennsylvania.
No, we're not because we're not talking about that here because yo, what's popping is about things that are going on in pop culture. If you want to hear our takes on real world events, make sure you subscribe to Kels for Show YouTube page because I will be putting up my black ass thoughts about certain topics. That maybe not that may or not less fall in line with what we like to represent on the network. So if you want to hear me and Ross's black ass thoughts on certain
Kelsey's black ass thoughts,
no.
Roscoe's rant.
No. Cause you're gonna be on my black ass thought, nigga. That's why I say that shit. Yes. So if you want to hear that shit, go to my YouTube. When I announce it on Facebook and on Instagram, Snapchat, I'll put up a link. Hopefully it goes up this week. Nah, fuck that shit. It's gonna go up. By the time you listen to this, go to the YouTube and listen to this shit. I got 2 in the pipe right now. I don't know which one's going up first, but you're gonna hear me say some shit. If you already know me, you'll be like, word. If you don't, you'll be like, ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah. And that's all I want, everybody. But yeah, so let's talk about what's popping in pop culture, Ross, real quick, so we can get to the brunt of the show. Quick little wrestling headlines.
I did forget, but last weekend was not this current last weekend, but the weekend before last was Wrestle Kingdom. So night 1, Kota Ibushi is finally did what he did, which is become a top star and beat Naito for both the IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental Champions. Night 2, he defended it against Jay White and successfully defended it. So that's one of the best things heard, as well as Naito versus Kota was supposedly already top tier contender for match of the year. As well as over on AEW, another contender match for the year, Kenny Omega versus Rey Fenix for the AEW Championship. But besides that, the bigger news is the Biz Cliz. For those that don't know about it, it's the Bullet Club. Most of the original members have now reunited at the end of AEW. For those that don't know, most of the original members is Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and the Good Brothers, currently known as Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. They both from Impact, so this is their first Impact debut on TNT as well as AEW. So we're having big things happening with this cross promotion shit. Past that, nothing really too big happening in WWE.
Cool. Shit. All right. Sometimes you get what you wish for. Any video game shit you want to touch upon real quick? Any news?
Supposedly there's leaks information about the multiplayer for Cyberpunk, but I ain't listened to about that.
Oh,
Word.
You talking about that third-person patch they tried to put through too?
Oh, I ain't.
Third person, like third party.
No, third person.
Meaning,
so
like
so
what?
it's instead of going from
It's only a first person.
Third
Oh.
Third
like
person
you're playing
finally
Witcher.
now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Word.
and if you find the videos, it is glitchy as shit.
Glitchy shit.
Oh,
How they gonna? Well, we still got technically one more month before all the so-called patch to make the Xbox and PlayStation 4 more compatible and smooth. So
Word.
I got my
We'll
refund
see.
already. I don't know. I'm not gonna
Ooh,
buy
shit.
it. I'm not gonna buy it again until it's Game of the Year edition. I'm waiting.
Hey, that sound investing.
Well, just
Smart.
I went through. I played as soon as we talked about it the last time. The next 20 minutes I started playing, it crashed 3 times.
Ew.
So I read that article where they'll give you your money back if you requested it, and I did.
Speaking of games, how often do you play your Switch still?
Probably once a week.
What game?
Oh, Pokemon for sure.
Sword or was it Shield? That you had?
I have Sword.
Where like you can look at mine right now. That shit dusted in Betty Watch.
I might actually reopen the
What?
Switch because
No, you can. I'm saying you
I
can.
just got
I'm
the
saying,
email from I don't know who said. Thank you, whoever it is, but I just got the email saying that I'm on somebody's family membership online on the Switch.
No, like you do that shit. Like I'm saying, like I be looking at it like it's nothing on there for me. But at the same time, I'm looking forward to a new game to make me reinvest in putting time to it. Or I'm looking forward to another lockdown. Yes, I said that shit. That's the only time I ever had actual time to dedicate to a video game was during this pandemic quarantine
because
last
that's the
summer.
only time you beat Kakarot.
Yeah, Kakarot, that's why I was playing, nigga. That's what time I was like a gamer, quote unquote, in the sense of like, yo, I ain't gotta do shit. Kakarot put on some 80s music, some Midnight, some
I just
motherfucking
watch
gun
you
shit.
play
Just
and just
fucking
get
play
high.
Kakarot, fish all day, fly around, beat up droids. But going to other news, Daniel's favorite director. Let the people know who that is, Daniel. And be nice, please. I'm looking for just a name.
Zack Snyder.
He wants to direct Marvel's MCU Daredevil movie.
No.
And I'm like, yes. Because I'm like DC, Marvel be like, cool, do all this. And Zack Snyder know how to shoot dark action. Daredevil is dark action.
And
If he
then
doesn't
give me a
have
dark
too much,
action joint.
yeah, he doesn't have too much influence over the script, I would be all for it. And also, it gives him the credibility if he succeeds to be like, it wasn't all me for Justice League.
And to be
But
honest,
also, if he does shit the bed, like Marvel will be like, never again.
and to be honest, Zack
We
Snyder's
gave it a shot.
aesthetics really does work better for Marvel movies compared to the DC movies.
Yeah, and Daredevil.
Yeah.
I don't mean to speak your piece, Dave. I'm not trying to cut you off. But let me say something real quick though. And Zack Snyder's shit is being dark and gritty. Daredevil is dark and gritty, and they are gonna give us, like they said, they're gonna give us the R-rated Daredevil. R-rated Deadpool. Zack Snyder might be able to do a R-rated Daredevil. Now say what you gotta say, my brother, my wolf.
Oh. Thank you, Prince. No. No. Too dark and too gritty would ruin the aesthetic of the Marvel Universe. You can do dark and gritty, but with Zack Snyder, he has a way of being too over the top with the dark and gritty.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it in a way that still shows the light, but when you take a franchise like Justice League and make them so dark when they're supposed to be more fun and action-packed, it ruins it. It makes it into something different. You can find a different director who can do dark and gritty, but keep a sense of the unknown, keep a sense of like weirdness, and especially with the mystical nature of the hand, you bring in someone with a better vision, someone who can do it right.
Okay, so my rebuke to that. So that means their Deadpool would be bright and gritty.
Yes.
Because he can, because it's a comic book. Oh no, I respect where you come from. So that also brings up the question too, like how will they handle Blade? Because Blade is dark and gritty, and Blade we know for a fact is coming. What if Zack Snyder gets Blade? But I think because Disney, wait. Me too, but I'm saying, but Disney is trying to be woke, so I'm assuming they're gonna get somebody black to direct it. But low key, nah. Maybe they gave Jordan Peele like a Cloak and Dagger movie.
I would like him as Cloak and Dagger.
But I would rather have Zack Snyder do a Blade than somebody that hasn't had experience with movies just because they are a person of color.
I would rather have Guillermo del Toro do Blade.
But yeah, like that would be interesting to see him come on because I would like, and Guillermo del Toro is a person of color too. Mm-hmm. So now I'm thinking about, I wonder why they haven't brought him in. But also I know he has his own unique viewpoint and storytelling technique. So maybe that might be a clash with them too. Because we know how Marvel, Feige likes to be, this. That's why he fell out with Edgar Wright and Ant-Man. Because Edgar, they're like, no, this is what I want. But then Feige and Marvel's like, nah. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But
Marvel has a way of, especially in their earlier days, messing up their directors.
Yeah.
Look at the way that they really cornered Joss Whedon.
Exactly. Like with Ultron, because they wanted so much pumped into that. And even the same thing with Favreau with Iron Man 2, which people at the time criticized Iron Man 2 for being the worst movie, but then you got to throw a rat in the rock. But it's like, yo, they made him put in a lot of elements he wasn't ready to put in because they had a fast-paced Avengers shit. So, we need a reason to have this happen. Not Scarlet Witch, but Black Widow, and Nick Fury's back, and Coulson, and the Shield. To be like, woo! Then at the end, Thor. Yeah, it's all happening. But we'll see what happens with that. Speaking of Marvel, by the time you're watching this, WandaVision should be out. The first 2 episodes are coming out on the 15th. And before that, make sure you watch Marvel Legends. They're one about Wanda and the Vision. They're 7-minute episodes each, if you want to call them episodes, on Disney Plus. Basically giving a recap of the story arc that leads up to the TV series. And also, Loki Season 2 is already in the works without the first one even debuting. So that's just let me know they have faith in it, and they also have an idea of what's to come next for the character. And hopefully that's a tie-in to Thor 4, Love and Thunder. If not, hopefully it ties in more to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness as well. Because I'm not a Loki fan, but I fucks with Loki in the movies. Like his character in the comic books, it is what it is. He never had a presence to me. It's just like, yeah, this is who Thor beef with. Is adopted brother. That's his brother, but not his brother. But Tom Hiddleston has definitely put a personality to the character, just like Robert Downey Jr. put a personality to Iron Man. Because before the movies, Iron Man was just a dude. Yeah, he had a cartoon, but if you wasn't a '90s kid, you wasn't even aware of it. But even then, he was just there. But now every iteration of Iron Man post Robert is basically Robert Downey Jr. in a suit. So that's what I respect about certain characters in the MCU, because you make me care about characters a lot. Like I said before, Scott Lang is Paul Rudd. Before that, fucking Ant-Man. Just period. Like, but now you make me care about Ant-Man. That's why one of my issues with Captain Marvel, like, I have no problem with Brie Larson, but they didn't give her own personality that stands alone. That she doesn't stand alone on her own legs. So I'm like, all right, cool. That's who Captain Marvel is. I felt with that. Nah, that's Brie Larson reading lines in a movie with Nick Fury and Agent Coulson. But anywho, and last bit of comic book news: the supposed Green Arrow and Canary series on the CW has been canceled. That shit ain't happening. It seems like they cutting back on a lot of CW shows, and low key I understand, because everything ends sometimes, and they were oversaturating the market, you could say. Don't get me wrong, I'm gonna watch whatever they put out, but once you have HBO Max with Doom Patrol, Titans, Stargirl, Swamp Thing possibly might be coming back, other shows you may not necessarily need, and we didn't really need that Green Arrow spin-off series when you always could bring them into Legends of Tomorrow or something like that.
I think the Arrowverse is on its way out.
Oh yeah, it's definitely, especially with Supergirl getting canceled after this season, Black Lightning in it. They bring in this Lois and Superman and Lois, which I'm very interested in, because I thought Jonathan Kent, his son, was gonna be a kid. Nah, he like 16.
Oh, they giving him the full grown.
Like, he's a
kid.
teenager.
He's on his way to being
Superboy.
I was ready to see.
Now if they gonna give us like Superman and Superboy son teaming up to fight.
Oh,
shit.
if they call it father and son, and we get it before the comic books hit. Oh, I'm
and
ready
that means
for
if
it.
they, because I still need to watch the last like 7 episodes of everything else post Crisis on Infinite Crisis on the Arrowverse. But if they give us that and keep Lex as Lex and Supergirl and have them interacting with each other,
Jonathan Cryer.
Yeah, Jonathan Cryer and Supergirl still popping up in that series, because you don't need her series. If you have Superman, she could be a sub character on that shit and keep Martian Manhunter do all the shit he's doing in Supergirl, but focus his shit on Superman and have him just do shit for the DOC or DOJ when he needs to. I think that'd be the best bet for him. So the CW could bring in other types of series and shit too, and maybe we could actually get this a new Constantine series after that.
That'd be Matt Ryan.
Oh, it's no, they.
Oh man, and just be honest,
They have choices, but
it has
like we
to
say,
be. It has to be.
if they were smart,
It has to
they would do it. Just give us that shit back, because they gonna lose Supernatural. Because old buddy about to be the new Walker Texas Ranger, which low key I want to watch.
And then Jensen Ackles is going over to the boys.
Boys, exactly. So they gonna need that supernatural ram that's darker than the Legacy. So Constantine, do all the same shit. Then you could bring Swamp Thing back through Constantine, but I'm not trying to sit here and do everything for them.
Aren't they trying to do a Justice League Dark too?
Movie.
Is it a movie?
Guillermo del Toro's been trying to get off the ground, but now they're saying they might get adapted into an HBO Max series, just like the Ben Affleck Batman and all that other thing. But most of this is speculations and things being thrown at the dartboard right now. But
Throw it at the wall, see what
throw it at the wall, see what's like spaghetti before it's done. So moving on to music before we get to Yo We Kicking Out, YWDCA 13 is out, is official. There's music on the playlist. And one of the songs on there is My Boy Joe's. One of his favorite country duos got a new hit single out, man.
Don't you?
Yeah. Them good old boys.
Don't even.
That Florida Georgia line got that new song called New Truck.
Gross.
And guess what? I made Ross listen to it. He was mad.
I'm not mad. It's just
Speak your truth.
Gross.
the niggas.
Speak your truth, King.
After the first song, after the first verse in the track, in the first chorus, I'm like, I know where this shit going. The chorus hit, the beat hit, but do I really want to listen to 3 more verses and it's just these two niggas during the feature? Just cause this nigga Kelsey threatened to listen to the whole damn song on TV, even though some other shit was
I
on
learned
there. I
from
was
the
just
top.
like, man, fuck.
Sometimes you gotta sick them on.
So yeah, I listened to that. Bullshit.
You
I mean,
held
it's a
him
cool bop.
hostage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's my country.
Nobody wants to listen to that.
Yeah, you do.
I mean,
They don't even wanna listen
it's
to it.
all right, but
No,
the thing
I
is,
do.
I told it's the one thing I will say Georgia Florida line has right.
And just
is
an
they have the
FYI,
beat.
I was drunk and high at the time, and I didn't give a fuck what was going on.
Yeah, they have the good melodies. It's just I don't like hearing their storytelling because it's that same monotone storytelling.
And like
I don't care about what you do in a Walmart parking lot.
And like
I give not one single
And like I
shit.
told Ross, well, I'm telling y'all now, one of the reasons I feel Joe low key don't like him because he low key wish he was out there living that good old life, sunshine, beer with your buddies, with your best gal on a brand new truck. So that don't sound appealing. Having beers with your boys in a brand new truck in the summertime.
That sounds reckless.
Having fun with your friends, drinking beer in your brand new truck. That's reckless. Just having a good old time. Well, not saying you're drinking and driving. I'm saying you were there with your buddies.
You're saying in the truck with your boys drinking beer. That is
Not driving. We just be in the truck. We could be getting ready to do some shit.
We're not
reckless.
16 years old anymore. We don't
We
do
ain't.
that.
But you kind of want to. Yeah.
Not to that track. Not with those vocals.
And make millions of dollars while doing it.
Yeah. People are stupid though.
Yeah. I know you do. It's all cool. You don't have to do the dip shit, but nah, you cool though.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
I don't want to do that.
Unless
I
it's free
would
nasty dip with a shoulder though.
Well, I would love to sit around and drink beer on a tailgate somewhere. That'd be cool.
In your brand new truck. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but
See? All right, that's all
I don't want to listen.
We're
to
gonna edit that shit
Florida
up. Joe Funny admits he wants to be like Georgia Florida line.
No, don't.
No, we ain't that.
That's a deep fake.
We ain't that advanced yet. No, we ain't
Oh, I
that
can make it
advanced.
sound.
Oh, I know you could. Please don't.
And other music on this playlist is Channel 43 by Deadmau5, Vibes by Zayn from 1D, aka One Direction. Talk About Love by Zara Larsson featuring the boy Young Thugger. Yes, he back out here in these streets, got another dope ass feature, and again another song for the boy Bit Lazka. It's gonna be ROD, stand for Ride or Die, off of his album. If you listen to last week's podcast, he was on that. He's gonna be this song will be featured on this at the end of this episode. But yeah. So with that being said, we moving on to.
Oh,
Go
I
ahead.
know. I do have a new.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Well, there is 2 songs, but I can't remember the
All
other
right,
one. But fuck shit. Damn it, Kelsey didn't play.
No, I
Shit.
was gonna talk, so I gave you time to remember what 2
Oh,
songs
go
because I want to talk about Jasmine Sullivan's new EP she
go
put
ahead,
out.
tell him about
Hotels, Ho spelled like the French Creole way, and it's an EP about songs about women being sexual creatures that they are, and also the interludes by different women talking about their experiences. And it's a dope project. You should definitely check it out. I just need to figure out which songs off of that I'm gonna put on the playlist. But yeah, but when she talking about sitting on the D and spitting on that shit until you can't handle it no more, girl, keep on keeping on. And now her and Issa Rae are gonna team up to give us a visual album based on the EP with 2 or 3 extra songs. And yeah, if you haven't heard it, make sure you check that shit out. Cause she has one track talking about how she fell in love with a girl that was her best friend, but then she fucked around with her ex, and now that shit hurts her. Everything she talk about it, and it's just different hearing a woman talk about things that men do. Cause men like we get the why did you do it? I'm like, oh no, I just did it. And she's like, I don't know why I had sex with my girl that I love ex. That shit just happened. So yeah, we all human.
In disregard when I said 2, I got 4, 1 extra info. But for y'all Disney Channel folks, Ali and AJ fans, technically it won't be in the new year, but last December, like the last week of December, Ali and AJ re-released the breakup song in their explicit version because now I guess they own the master, so
They can say
dropped
cunt.
They said fucking
And dick.
and all that other
Shit.
good shit. But
Ass.
past that,
Bitch.
we have. I'm not sure if Kelsey put all these 4 on the playlist, but there's the Hurt Business by West Side Gunna
You coulda
featuring
asked me,
Smoke
and I
Dizzy.
literally named every song, and no,
Wow.
I didn't put it on there.
Yeah. There's also Mazza from Slow Top featuring ASAP Rocky.
Oh, I didn't put that on there because I didn't like it, but if you like it.
Oh,
I'll
I
put
like it.
No, I know you like it. I put it on there. That's the only reason I didn't.
Get Out Demo by Asher Roth. And
I didn't put that one out.
yeah, he dropped that one.
Like
Yeah,
college?
yeah.
Yeah,
It's only
he
one.
independent now.
Wow.
Yeah, he independent and he still
He
smoke. He's still talking about the smoke shit, but he more into earth and other things. It's still Asher, but
Earth and other things.
yeah, his bars are still the same. They still there. But yet also Mike Jones is back in the rap game. Mike Jones.
Who?
Why? Because another Texas artist by the name of TT Lowkey asked Mike Jones to drop on her track back then. Yes, nigga. Go listen to it.
Back then, now she thick. They all on her twerking and popping that.
Oh, no, it's way better than that.
She said She said now she can work at the Pink.
She said none of these bitches is on her and all these niggas on her.
Word.
It hit. But yeah, those are my 4 new songs that I listened over the week outside of not listening to Man on the Moon Part 3 for the 18th time.
Yo, low key, I was gonna listen to that shit to go to sleep, but I was gonna bounce back to that Taylor Swift folklore. But then I was like, nah, let me finish listening to Jasmine Sullivan. But at the same time, she talking about fucking. I'm trying to go to sleep and not reopen up my OnlyFans. So let me just try to go to sleep and not think about dying. With that being said, we're going to get to Yo We Geeking Out. And today we're going to geek out about Karate Kid. Uno, dos, and tres. Yes, we're talking about the original first 3 Karate Kids because I just watched these movies over the last week. And this is one of those things I was hesitant about because I didn't feel the need to because just being in the pop culture, I get it. Crane Kid, Mr. Miyagi, wax on, wax off, all that jazz. But with Cobra Kai's continued popularity rising, I knew I was gonna fuck with it one day. So I was like, all right, let me go back from the beginning and learn all I can. So when I do start watching Cobra Kai, I can get all the Easter eggs fresh, and I can be immersed into this universe.
He gonna be so glad when you watch Cobra Kai.
We start off. I just want to ask each person, how do you rate the 3 movies?
2 number 1.
I'll go with Daniel first.
2-1-3.
2-1-3, Ross.
2-1-3, baby.
2-1-3.
Guess what? Same here. And yes, exactly.
The greatest.
Like
2 did what sequels always should do: be better.
Exactly.
And what was so great about 2 is like, oh, guess what? I think 2 was probably the first time in my movie history where it's like, oh, we're really following up from what happened from 1, and we're technically just as like, oh, same story, but yet a little bit better because we're giving you a whole extra backstory added on to the small backstory that y'all gave us for Mr. Miyagi. I'm just like, we didn't ask for it, but thank you.
But 2 also avoided the Back to the Future cliche, where it's the exact same thing in a different setting. Instead, it's like this is the logical next step for Daniel and Miyagi.
But technically, it was the exact same thing. But the thing was, it was worked way better than what it was for Back to the Future because technically, 2 was literally the same thing, but technically with a few ambiance that were different.
Well, there were similar aspects to 2.
Yes.
Besides 1, but the similarities have to be there to make it part of the universe. The sequel. And the thing too, I learned about watching all 3. This shit should have not been called Karate Kid. It should have been called Mr. Miyagi and the White Boy. Because that's what all this shit was Mr. Miyagi teaching this white boy. Because part 2 was Mr. Miyagi's movie featuring Daniel's son. Because that motherfucker's backstory, Lord Jesus, it was emotional.
Karate Kid Part 2 shouldn't have been called Karate Kid Part 2. It should have been Karate Kid Mr. Miyagi's origin.
Or Mr. Miyagi, he back.
Fucking even look at the way Community used Chang in that play. When Miyagi's talking about his wife dying, the baby dying, remember that? Season 6.
See, I low key don't like watching season 6 because I know it's the finale.
Well, season
I
6,
always stop at 5.
season 6 is where Jason Mantzoukas' character is. Annie thinks she's the star of the play because she's playing Daniel's son.
Oh yeah, and then he kept on telling him that Mr. Miyagi, yeah, cause he makes more sense now, don't it? Yeah, cause he makes more sense now, don't it?
Go watch season 6. I always stop on season 6 of Community right after they have that episode when they start running the bar and Frankie come in. I always end because I don't like seeing that shit.
Why's that guy a banana?
Because he is.
Why? Because it's the last time you hear the old raps dude song because
it's the
it
end
brings
period.
But also Mantzoukas in that scene, he's like Annie, Daniel is not the
main
character.
character.
This
It's
is
Mr. Miyagi's story.
Featuring the white,
Right,
because
but-
in America you gotta bring them in some way through somebody that they can identify with, and that's why I was saying after watching, like, yo, Mr. Miyagi is the star of this movie. That's why I'm glad I finally watched it because I had my own interpretations that I thought it was gonna go a certain way. Even with Johnny from Cobra Kai, the kid Johnny, I was like, oh, he's a typical 80s asshole, typical alpha male. No, he's just a teenager doing something that he was good at, but he was forced into being a dick. Even though you rewatch the first one, he really didn't want to do too much of that to a degree. He's like, yeah, we gonna fuck with him, but I don't want to do all that.
Watching the first one, he literally says, I'm not going to be a delinquent this senior year. I'm going to be a good kid and get into college. And it's just one small vision. Seeing his ex-girlfriend.
With some new dude.
And literally, his homeboy's like...
Hormones.
Elizabeth Shue.
Yes. Who was getting home lemon all that titty milk.
His homeboy's like, yo, they
Her
broke...
milkshake bring all the super boys
They
to
broke
y'all.
up. Literally, the greatest catchphrase is, they broke up. No, she broke up with him.
And then he gets yellow.
You know what that reminds me too of? Welcome to the OC, bitch. Whoever wrote that first episode of OC was like, oh, Karate Kid movie. Ryan is Daniel's son. And oh, that motherfucking Luke is the nigga Johnny.
The parallels are staggering.
I know. The more I think about it, I'm like, yo. But I'm glad I watched this shit as an adult now than versus a kid. Just because now I can sit back and look at it in its entirety. Because even just watching it, like each movie gives you a recap of the movie before. And I'm like, what the fuck are they doing this? They treating it like an anime episode where at the start of each episode you tell me what just happened. Oh, it was the 80s. People weren't trained to just know a sequel.
People weren't trained to remember.
They had to re-familiarize themselves with the main story.
It was
of the
back
plot.
in that time period where people did rewatch the movie before just in case. They just went back. So like, they're like, all right, we got to give you the best moments so y'all can remember.
And technology,
then just be like,
You went to what it
VHS,
was,
like-
is they went to Blockbuster to try to rent Karate Kid 1 before Karate Kid 2 came out.
and
But all
you
the
know that
copies were
should
gone.
be
And a lot of people didn't have VCRs because VCRs was like the hot thing when this shit was coming out. So everybody was in privy to having that technology.
That
Hell
is
yeah.
true.
So it's like, yo, that shit really happened. But one of my favorite moments for Karate Kid 1 was after the fucking homecoming shit. After Johnny sprayed the water on that nigga.
Oh, at the Halloween party.
When Daniel sprayed the weed. When Daniel
Use the
poured
water
the
hose.
water on Johnny, ruining up the weed in the bathroom.
Oh, he ran a full
And
joint.
Now it makes more sense because they went outside and he was beating him by the gate. And before Mr. Miyagi came in, that motherfucker Johnny powered up that Ken Power Liu Kang kick and went wow flying to the fucking fence. And Daniel
And broke
Mr.
a
Miyagi
sign.
just happened to push Daniel out of the way, but that nigga Johnny broke the sign. So I'm like, yo, if that motherfucker would have connected, he would have snapped that kid's neck. We would have been no Cobra Kai. That nigga would have been in prison. He was about to kill him for making his weed wet and taking his bitch.
Hey, Kelsey, you ready for this part?
And Mr. Miyagi smooth ninja jumped over the fence. He's like, Crouch the Tiger, he can drag
And
it.
Kelsey,
Like,
you ready for this funny part? You ready for this funny tidbit? They chased him all the way to the apartment complex. So they chased him from the school all the way to LaRusso's apartment complex. And then Mr.
weed cost a lot of
Miyagi.
money in the 80s.
Yeah. But first off, they about to get hot. Only in the 80s when you can
California
smoke
soil.
weed in the bathroom and ain't nobody gonna get caught at a fucking school party.
Because the teacher was high on coke.
Well, I was going to say, they can't show kids doing coke like it's Supernova.
Like it's Supernova, or like it's the 90s or the 2000s when you can show everything on camera.
But
And plus, it's not Euphoria.
even
That's
more
right, it's
great
not
moment.
Euphoria.
This lets you know
Shit.
how bullshit schools were. This nigga LaRusso found a hose, inside the school, found a
Fire
plastic hydrant to plug it into,
Fire department
and
issue.
then just turned it on, and then was out.
That
I'm
seems
just
like poor city planning.
You know, it was
It was.
Where-
Oh, no,
where-
it
where
was
are my
it
civic
was in
dollars
Reno.
going?
It was in Fresno.
Ooh,
That's where my dad grew up.
Fresno?
That's where my dad was born.
was it Fresno? I
I
don't
think-
remember where they were living.
San Francisco?
No, because I know.
No. It's Encino.
In the Encino Valley?
Yeah, was it Encino?
Probably.
I think they were in
Encino, man. It was
Encino.
in one of those. But anyway, that shit happened. I'm sitting there like, yo, this movie's alright. The mama just moved your ass out because she got a job. Then the second movie, she's like, I got a new job. And Danny's
Her
like,
promotion got her to Fresno.
the second one she got to Fresno. Then
And
Danny was
technically,
like,
I just realized the only reason why they moved out there is because his dad died.
no, and she got a new,
And she got a new, better job, so they
Exactly.
moved all the way across from Jersey all the way to Cali.
Jersey, the armpit of America.
Which makes
Hey,
sense when you think about David.
What's
Bowie.
even more great is after, and low key, the only reason why he started becoming friends with Mr. Miyagi is because why? He sneaks out in the middle of the night, rides his bike, and what happens? Cobra Kai on a motorcycle, on a dirt bikes, see this nigga riding bikes. After the second time they done beat this nigga up. Why? First time they beat him up, you know, like we already said, LaRusso talking to Allie. But the second time they end up having a nice little old fight conversation, this nigga ends up, they's like, yo, this nigga ain't gonna be on the soccer team. Let's fuck it up.
All right, speaking of that moment, he gets kicked off of the soccer team tryouts for defending himself because when the Cobra Kai motherfuckers
Kept tripping him.
sweep the leg, pretense, foreshadowing, and they was like, yo, he hit me first. I don't care.
You shouldn't punch them even though he swiped you.
Going
Go ahead,
back
David.
to, you can be bullied. Don't you ever fucking bully someone back. Don't you ever hit that guy.
Don't hit him back. Be the stand-up guy. Be the
So
better
these
person.
niggas push him down the hill, fuck up his bike. Mr. Miyagi nice
Yo.
enough to just fix his bike.
No. Daniel took that bike, threw it in the trash can. I was like, I hate this bike. No, the bike didn't do nothing but be a bike. You hate the fact that these boys are fucking you up because you ain't got YMCA karate skills. But moving, but with that being said, it's just like, yo, like that movie was. There's so many little surprises. I'm saying like, oh, then Danny got the drip. He got the car. He went to talk to the girl at the arcade. The arcade was popping. But then you had was Elizabeth Shue.
Yeah.
Homegirl's
Alex.
like, oh, why you worried about her? Like, now you want to be like, bitch, I'm trying to talk to her, not you. What the fuck? Like, get away from Pat-Man. I'm trying to be that man. I'm trying to be a good noodle.
This thing is.
Y'all on this bullshit.
Daniel was dealing with everything as a 17-year-old turning into 18.
And that's the thing too. Like, a lot of shit was going on. But then,
Allie's parents don't like him because he from Fresno.
Oh,
he
where
from
he
the,
from? The
He from the
hood?
poor part
He
of the.
from Chino.
He from Chino.
like,
He from the
Ryan
poor
Atwood,
part.
He from Chino.
Didn't drive so
parallels just keep
low
on
key.
coming.
His mama was taking them out on a
When
date.
that kid Chino, he had the original fisticuffs on, fist be gone on.
Greatest thing ever. After they date, Johnny and them in the whole car was like, "Yo, come chill for us." Yeah, your little dude could come unless his mom unless he gotta go home with his mommy. Yo, these niggas was ruthless
For
on
real.
the
And then
bully
you had the
tip.
scene too in the
was the
movie.
80s.
Yeah, then you had a part 2 in the movie, the first one when Mr. Miyagi, you know, he was drunk off that. I'm not gonna say sake.
Oh,
He had that bourbon.
He lit.
And then you get his backstory about him being on the armed services, his wife dying with the kid and all this, and Johnny just puts him to bed.
And again,
Not just-
that's why he broke that chain down to be so good that he could cry during that scene.
And not just that his wife died. His wife was in a Japanese internment camp
And
and
his
her
wife died giving
while
birth to
he
his
was fighting
child.
the Vietnam War.
And giving birth.
And then they sent him a message saying his wife died during birth. So he's not just getting drunk on a random day. He's getting drunk on the day of his son's birth / death
Of his wife.
/ double death of his wife and his child.
Yeah, so that's like
Crazy.
a dark anniversary. That reminds me of this comic I just read called Still Water, when they have a happy death day, but that's neither here nor there. Then fast fast forward into Karate Kid 2, where they go to Japan because Mr. Miyagi had to go there and finish
No, 'cause
take care of some family business.
'Cause his father was dying.
Yeah, family business. That's what I just said. And they go over there. Then it's turn this whole franchise upside the fuck down. Because you come to find out, before Mr. Miyagi got married, he had a whole shorty. He had a whole best friend that was gonna
that learned karate from his daddy.
That his daddy saw as the best pupil. And Mr. Miyagi was like, nah, you want my girl? You can have her. Ain't about this life. I'm a dip.
Mr. Miyagi
But then his best
his
friend has been
feelings.
upset with him since he left. All this beef. They come back to all this shit. And Johnny's like, I'll go with you because my mama don't give a fuck. Because she's in Fresno with a new job and getting new dick. So I'm in Japan for the summer.
And then what's even more great is the pure fact is it starts off with him coming to prom. It's like, man, me and Nelly just broke up.
Allie.
That's what I said.
I know you thought you heard Natalie, but he said Allie.
Word.
Yeah. Brainwaves, baby.
It works 3 ways.
But but yeah, he's mad at the fact that she might have feelings for some old friend that's currently.
Nigga, that's really not the whole purpose,
But yeah, what it got? Friend that's in you, that's already going to the college she at. But Mr. Miyagi gets the letter saying that his dad having heart problems. It's from his ex-love. He ends up telling Danny, he's like, yo, this my ex-love, but the reason why she can't be my ex-love is because she was stove to my best friend who learned karate from me and my dad. He challenged me to a battle to the death. And
whole acne kind.
And instead of me having this battle with him, I just dipped.
Yes.
Come back into town. Homeboy gives them a full ride just so he could be in front of him. It's like, yo, I'm going to kill you before you get off this island. Believe that. But I'm going to let you go see your daddy.
Yo, and the thing too, the start of Karate Kid 2, go back and give you the last like couple minutes of the first one. Then we get what happened afterwards, where Cobra Kai is literally getting beat up by their master, whose name is also John Kreese, or Keese. Kreese, and this nigga Kreese is smacking white boys.
He's
left
choking
and
Johnny,
right.
punching, and then the thing is, he beats up his other 2 pupils, which is Johnny's best friend.
With a strong pimp hand too.
Backslaps both of them.
Pop.
Then goes
I
to,
didn't like him, but I was like, damn.
Then Mr. Miyagi goes up to him and is like, yo, you shouldn't be doing this. He said, fuck you, old man. Goes to try to fight him. Mr. Miyagi dodges 2 punches. John Kreese busts his 2 glass windows, bloody hands and all.
Because Mr. Miyagi is always telling Danielson karate is about defense, and that will be showing to him in person.
Use their momentum against him.
He then poses this nigga and says, and then like literally has like this whole strike like he's about to kill this man. Does it, but then stops, honks his nose. Everybody outside of the whole valley, adults and everything, sees this happening. And then that's all we get at that moment.
But think about that kind of big dick swinging energy.
Big dick swinging energy.
If you had a big one, you wouldn't give a fuck. Yo, and then that shit happened. Then you go to Japan, and there's a whole bunch of Japanese shit going on with this family shit. And like I said, it's mostly Mr. Miyagi's background, origin story. Daniel of course, he fall in love with an Asian girl there because he had.
Not just any Asian girl, guys. Realize it's the niece to Mr. Miyagi's first love that he left this island from.
And he thought she married, or he thought she got married to his best friend, but she's like, nah, I ain't getting married. And he was like, why not? She was like, yo, I was like, what? He didn't tell me? Oh, these
so low key, you come to find out.
I've been in America thinking about, I can't go back all this because you finally married or nothing. She's like, nah, I ain't doing that. But she waited till his daddy was sick. All this time, she's like, I've been thinking about you. I want to talk to you, but I had to do what I expect for him and you.
But even more crazier is Mr. Miyagi thought he dipped from everything, only for the real reason we know that he got this letter about his dad dying is because of her, and she said she been knew where this nigga lived at.
Exactly.
So never told this nigga once. And so his best friend pissed off at the fact that he never battled him. Now on top of that, he never got married to his arranged marriage because his best friend ends up having to confess his love to the whole town about they shorty that he arranged to.
And I got something.
Great.
Yeah, and the thing too about that shit is like all this is going on. Daniel's son is still trying to figure out who he is as a person.
Oh,
And then he learns about the backstory, but also he has to deal with an adversary, his quote unquote old age, and it gets to a point too where they gotta fight.
Oh,
And then
are you talking about the fight to the death?
oh yeah, we're talking about Sato,
Like-
aka Mr. Miyagi's best friend's number one pupil.
we
AKA,
get to that shit and like, yo, and Daniel's low key like, I don't want to fight. He was like, no, you got to. And then the pupil snap because even Mr. Miyagi's best friend's like, yeah, this is a little overboard. But he's like, nah, this is all I know. I gotta fight. And then, all right, I'm not gonna say I love this shit about it because we about to move on to the third one real quick before we get out here. But it lets me know this shit took place in the 80s. Cause they have no problem smacking the bitch in these movies. Cause as soon as a girl
Not
roll
once.
up in this shit, they are getting knocked the fuck out. There ain't no time for shit.
There's a backhand.
This is grown man shit.
There is a
I will
backhand
punch you in your
coming to
mouth.
you.
I will kick you in your gut. Know your place. I was like, that's the 80s. This day and age, they'd be like, why I oughta. Or something else will happen, but nah, I'm gonna knock you out.
Canceled.
You are getting
Because
back.
you know
are
why?
spinning
They
on
do
the
not
ground.
discriminate. If you want to fight, we can fight. If
Put
you
it
don't,
down.
stay the fuck away from us. I don't care if you're a man,
If you
woman,
enter
or a
into this
cow.
aura of
you gonna
anger,
get
you are
a
getting
piss.
hit in this aura of anger.
And then moving on to Karate Kid 3, it was like, I just watched that shit today.
And
And my biggest takeaway is this motherfucker, Terry Silver, had to be the prototype design for Tommy Oliver from the Power Rangers. His name is Terry Silver, Tommy Oliver. Do what you want with it. And look at the
No,
head. They had
hold
a
on.
slick back ponytail. They wore all
There's
the same
more
colors.
things too, y'all.
And he was low-key a villain.
the one thing that made Terry and Tommy so great is there's one scene where you literally see Terry wearing a green jacket, sleeves rolled up, pants tied up, the Tommy slick back, white shirt underneath the green shirt, just like Tommy would on a regular basis. And I'm just sitting here when Kelsey's like, oh, this the Green Ranger's daddy. I was like,
It's
oh, they
perfect.
really did model
Yeah,
Tommy after Terry. But
He was the main villain of the shit over a karate tournament. Because they take Cobra Kai to another level. It's not just one localized dojo or gym. It's a conglomerate. It's a company. It's an organization.
Yeah,
it's a business.
you come to
Yeah.
find this out. What makes part 3 so great is after part 2 is technically takes after part 3, but yet it fills in some of the blanks because it's re-flashbacks from the beginning of part 2 because we now have to find out John Kreese has no money to run Cobra Kai because due to his actions in front of the All Valley tournament, nobody wants to fuck with him no more.
Yeah, they go
so Cobra Kai goes under, and the thing is, he calls Terry Silver, though his best friend, his homeboy that he did in the army, that he saved his life. So due to the fact he's the reason that bought Cobra Kai and created Cobra Kai and gave ownership to John, he ends up proclaiming like, John, go to Hawaii, take this break. I'm a take the revenge for you. So literally, while he drops off John, Mr. Miyagi and Danny LaRusso are coming right back into town.
Yeah, and the thing too, like, that motherfucking John Kreese went to Hawaii, get massaged by Hawaiian women. He come back with no muscle mass. Like, they sucked all the creatine out that boy body. He had no protein left. He had no muscles at all. And the thing too about Karate Kid 3 is like, Daniel had to relearn, like, just because you see a different way of doing things doesn't mean it's the best way. And also, conveniently, they figured out a way to write out his mom once again, because this time she had to take care of a sick uncle. So basically,
no, it was a sick uncle. It was a sick member that lived at the apartment complex still in Fresno because of the asparagus outbreak.
Uncle, cousin, whatever. She wasn't there because she had to take care of somebody else that was not her child. Why is she taking care of another grown man that didn't have any family members? That's in the script. But she took care of this person this whole movie instead of her son, and he had to live with this.
Because Mr. Miyagi is the Asian maid. The Asian nanny.
Not even that. Mr. Miyagi became his best friend / father figure.
But it's just really convenient. Like, oh, you need to stay with him again and learn karate? How do we write the mom out? Instead of her getting a whole new job, she had to take care of somebody sick. And with that being said, we're going to wrap out Yo, We Geeking Out. And before we get out here, we're going to, of course, do Yo, Check It Out. So I just want everybody to recommend a movie or a TV series, anime, comic book that you would recommend for anybody as a fan of the Karate Kid. Daniel, I'm going to start with you.
Tai Chi Zero. I've recommended this one before, but it's Scott Pilgrim meets Tai Chi Warriors, and it's very anime-esque. It's very over the top at times, but it's fantastic.
Word. Joe.
I don't have any recommendations right now.
I'm gonna do one for Joe. Enter the Badlands.
Ooh, yeah, no, that's stole mine, you little meanie.
Yeah, no, that was
say Taiji Boys.
Taiji Warriors. Taiji Zeros.
No, that was a great one.
One of them joints.
Fantastic.
Word. Oh, because Sonny is Mike. All right, word. What about you, Ross? What'd you recommend to people check out?
I'm gonna go with my favorite Three Ninjas movie, which will be 2.
Knuckle Up?
Knuckle
or Kid Back?
Oh, shit. Which one was with the Indians? Oh, damn.
The indigenous?
You mean the Native Americans?
I thought we couldn't say natives.
Indigenous
cool.
people.
Natives cool.
All right.
Actually, damn, I just realized I don't know which one is my favorite, if it is 2 or 3. If it's Japan or... You know what? Nope, it's going to be 2. So I'm going to go with saving the environment.
No, that was when they went to Japan.
No, 3 was when they went to Japan.
Is it Kid Back or Knuckle Up? I think it was Kid Back.
3 was when they went to Japan.
Kid Back sounds more like a sequel title.
3 is when they went to Japan. Hold on, let's double check.
It does not matter.
It doesn't matter.
But I'm going to go with...
the second one.
Whichever one they did the environmental stuff at and fight in the junkyard.
Word.
Let's keep
and for me, for all those people out there that's watched Karate Kid 1, 2, and 3, if you have not watched this movie, we did a whole podcast about this movie, and it's no other than The Last Dragon with the boy Bruce Leroy and Sho'nuff. Bruce Leroy Sho'nuff. If you don't know where it's at, it's on here. And yeah. And with that being said, this has been another episode of Yo, Where the Captions At. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's listening. Thank you to Joe. Thank you to Daniel for being on this episode. And yeah, before we get out of here, we will leave you with another song from B.I.G, Lazka, like I said before, R.O.D. So make sure you listen to that as well and support. Find his music on Spotify, especially on our playlist. You can also find it anywhere else you listen to music. And with that being said, remember guys, be one or be nothing.
Oh, and it's Knuckle Up, and Knuckle Up is the third one. You right, Joseph.
That was right.
Damn, I thought Kickback was Japan. And I'm yours truly, Roscoe Tinkoya. Live life and be misknown, y'all.
Daniel, play that shit.
I'm so high. Cause I believe that I could fly. I'm so high. I'm so high. Cause I believe that I could fly. I'm so high. Yeah, you got a lot to gain, or a lot to lose. We got different perceptions, we got different views. Are you chasing the bag, or is it chasing you? Keep your head on your shoulders, just like the shampoo. When it's forks in the road, go right or go left, or create your own lane and never miss a step. Take it day by day and secure the check. If we talking about practice, you can still get swept. But basically, I had to see what works for them don't work for me. There's too many philosophies. I'm Lazarus, not Socrates. But little did I know, some will help me grow. You reap just what you sow, unless the ground is not fertile. Waiting patiently, not aimlessly. I know just when to go. No green lights, but occasionally I'm told by E4O. Will I ever stop? Probably not. You miss all the baskets by not taking a shot. I'm so high, cause I believe that I can fly. I'm so high, I'm so high, cause I believe that I can fly. I'm so high. Do you know why the cage bird sings? Cause it's standing on a grave full of dreams. And I wonder, do we all really know what it means? Or are we stuck in the same routine? That's why we rage against the machine. Cause we know the plot of the tyrant schemes. On the front lines, don't hide behind me. Solo dolo, I wish I had a team, but the fakery can fuck the bread up and close down the bakery. Plus the snakery can get you wet up, cause they wanna take from me. The Judas in the mist didn't show me love, only could sneak this, cause the blessings from above. So it's sad to see the close ones turn enemies and strangers. I do shit out of love, and some won't even thank you. Thankful for the ones who stayed and stuck around and believe I could fly, cause now I'm off the ground. I'm so high, cause I believe that I could fly. I'm so high, I'm so high, cause I believe that I could fly. I'm so high.